Prime Minister Liz Truss of Britain announced her resignation on Thursday, bringing a swift end to a 6-week stint in office that began with a radical experiment in trickle-down economics and descended into financial and political chaos. As most of those policies were reversed, with her tax-cutting agenda in tatters, her Conservative Party's lawmakers in revolt, and her government in the hands of people who did not support either her or her policies, Ms. Truss, 47, concluded that she could no longer govern. She departs as the shortest-serving Prime Minister in British history. Given the situation, I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party, a grim Ms. Truss said, standing on the rain-slicked pavement outside 10 Downing Street, where only 44 days ago she greeted the public as Britain's new leader. Ms. Truss said she would remain in office until the party chooses a successor by the end of next week. That sets off an extraordinarily compressed, unpredictable scramble to replace her in a party that is both demoralized and deeply divided. Among the likely candidates is Boris Johnson, the flamboyant previous prime minister she replaced after he was forced out in a string of scandals. Only a day after declaring in Parliament, "I'm a fighter, not a quitter," Ms. Truss bowed out after a hastily scheduled meeting on Thursday with party elders, including Graham Brady, the head of a group of Conservative lawmakers that plays an influential role in selecting the party leader. It was the most shocking jolt in a week of seismic developments that included the ouster of Ms. Truss as Chancellor of the Exchequer, Kwasi Kwarteng, the bitter departure of the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, and a near melee in Parliament on Wednesday night, as cabinet ministers tried to force unruly Tory lawmakers to back the Prime Minister in a vote on whether to ban hydraulic fracking. The spectacle dramatized how Ms. Truss, only the third female Prime Minister, after Margaret Thatcher and Theresa May, had lost control of her party and government. By then, though, her mandate had already been shredded. Her proposals for sweeping, unfunded tax cuts rattled financial markets because of fears they would blow a hole in Britain's finances. That sent the pound into a tailspin that left it briefly near parity with the dollar, forced the Bank of England to intervene in bond markets to stave off the collapse of pension funds, and sent mortgage interest rates soaring. The resulting chaos has left Britons frustrated and jaded, with many convinced the country is spinning out of control. "We are in an economic crisis, a political crisis, a food crisis, an everything crisis," said Christian Kretsu, a gas engineer on a break from work. "Whoever is going to replace her, I don't think they will make a difference." The opposition Labour Party called for an immediate general election, but under British law, the Conservatives are not required to call one until January 2025. If enough Conservative lawmakers join with the opposition, they could force an election. But with the party's support collapsing in opinion polls, it is in their interests to delay any encounter with the voters. British political convention also allows them to change party leaders, and therefore the Prime Minister, using their own flexible rulebook. Ms. Truss's position was already shaky on Monday, when her newly appointed Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, announced that the government would undo the last vestiges of her tax proposals. As Mr. Hunt presented details of the reworked fiscal plan in Parliament, a silent Ms. Truss sat behind, a faraway smile on her face. For Britain, it is another chapter in the political convulsions that followed its vote to leave the European Union in 2016. The country will soon have its fifth Prime Minister in 6 years. Ms. Truss is the third consecutive leader to be deposed by the Conservative Party, also known as the Tory Party, which now appears to have devolved into warring factions and has fallen as many as 33 percentage points behind the opposition Labour Party in polls.
That would take advantage of the freedoms of Brexit.